Good morning, family. This is the Godson TV Global Kumase. Abusia, yamwakwa banope. Diabe bomo no pay ni se Cheddar dana kwame bedi akon wadwa pa ole umara enye easy. Obaso wa chere se Ghana nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ binom ho apufu. Ho apufu papa. Ade nzimhunu ne nsɛmfono no according to Cheddar. Obi beka se obi a opese obeye omampanyini die oso okana no tum na bibia yede ye no na opretumi a oyi ho anu bebra ye beka se o arrogant. Honorable king the Japan assemble ko na e ka kire no kan se okwa started 1 and 2 no yes expose dey buy and say because of NPP and to me and almost 2020 ontwa so ebi nso chase ka se na nsenya na operate to me nsem bi wo a honorable nso so because all pepanyina dia nso se obi wa no kan nsem bi say ti kamia ese nipa wo subi na o position bi ana dibra bi a e wo Ghana e wo se su no ida se obeyi su na free ho mboso obetumi aboa o man no kra no o se su na ye kokko ene ade na e ho asem no yetimi use against the person aha na ye hwe tenten ne se de ote obrofo a woka na de ama position bine se we de obedi o man so a ne ho fe ebeboae ozo Ghana nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ binom ade muni asem bisana ade pa na hamo wabetena wanim ani wudi nkomo Cheddar-Same busa no de obetimi aye wo Ghana ene de Ghana laki ne de beboa ma oman na tumpon a sika wanya onya no wai na so tonton scraps ena de nya sika ti sei na wo ye de na nya access Canada at the age of 19 you be see was source of wealth no so same we go internet neso onya Google says as a journalist you should know better Google now busa Google de busa Google obe chere on him and e come fast nya ni sika nya wa kan same we go over hundreds of media personalities busa the same question repeatedly one answer na dey bi ona person what wabetena na buza na asema na ede na anya sika na ote sansem no ti na na adoda nkwakufu no betena wani ma ubenya buza no oze mpanifo no betena wani ma politicians na omo de omo ye hardcore politics no omo betena wani mu a na omo atwero questions e de amamo se we na memusa me we memusa no ndo betena wa chese ono pe ana se bia wo che no oya be ho ama ndi ase buo kura na eni de mu mfa ma no na mu buza na nsem saa chese osi han kumase de ne mekan se medreji si buza me kon ya mefa so sa ne ma no anyhow possible away mu ye dan ena ye de na anya sika ena nkrofo show us the way zano ne chairman Journalist-Sefa kan de si ani wo voters registration no me mo videos ni me nyina na hwe Ghana se ye professionalism be bra o man we enkonanim Ghana professionalism be bre me wo we na me ye we na ma ye we na me wo we na ze sound na de Ghana abegina ha ne nti Ghana mu ne kasa gibro ni kasa Ghana mu ne manfo a ode won krom kasa Ghana ni oti baby ti office na wo approach no o katwia yaza omu nipa bia de o ka brofo ye buni se ne de ono o katwi nti de wash suit any tie onyina duano so nche ne ate ama no de o South African way free chrome ha ya pam ne ha ama no ono de obegina nchen ohu bi a you suit and tie original kusua ya che hoda ye be man nti unkoto no nyeso omu nto otobi anopa kokko no omu nyina tobi but ubedu obi ane ya sama no ubedu ana haje ya sama no nti wonche ho Ghana for pe ana okọ school wey ana unim no ana unim me unim nipa me ye mabo PhD mabo CCQ mabo BBB nsam saa ana man pe ono obo Canada Japan asem no we have people that are more ideas but any qualification any school asem any academic performance any quarter examination or whatever Ghana for bragging with paper abra green it. I can't sophisticatedly say this. I know so many people say nipa we catch us say oguta PhD and a degree holder. Na only analysis be about adia na wakosua na akra onim. Most of them they have the paper, they have the title, but putting or quantifying the knowledge they've acquired, the paper, into practice, they are unable to fulfill. They are unable to succeed, excel. Said you wako suya was kuno kuta hon a kratano. Oh man orientation cra on the same adena wako suya no cran. No bre. No bro. Not all bre. I was not to say. Ya pen na maboy na maboy na maboy na maboy. Ya de maboy san no man wage na de gina. And o school way and a child I drop out and a den all my de mo so mo ne ko school na om camp professors and first om de mo say me shut down support Cheddar but asamna e da ho no and me ka ho asem politicians me apart from honorable Canada Japan me nyada obia me nyada obia me kan okre apart from honorable Canada Japan me pen ideology say the way I will see dwen omo coming for obia ho me check you obia sa na me politics na me mpe enya me like cry enya me filled but ya pe na nwoma but grofo be brave me no ka say you on grofo on my mistakes me or friends and colleagues on my mfomso owie university na onya dwuma oso oye ne masters ato aso ena na eja team owure mu a wa anya dwuma kra o je masters be sisa break onya dwuma nyai o wa menu atwam coins ne ade senko ye bibi kakra mpo kra na oja beto aso a kay different thing obviously born a masters we nanka higher position no the vacuum there obe feel gbanyan no abe di mu nyina mo so wo mo degree program mo abe di mo so oba onya dwuma no aye even my friend of PhD onya ho adwuma and wa mono mo ha wo ye kasam some grofo we ye ni hana Dr. Mamadou Baumia I didn't want kan fa no ho wa bin eban economy dollar say nipa wa bin no baby obefa dollar baby odi dollar gina ye ko kan no maka say NPP NDC me san zam no bia anya masamba ye kan no kre baby obefa dollar baby odi dollar abegina ne wasaya campaign chini bon to answer mo for man in shenensa ye for man on shenensa biu enwoma ni nyina e ko solve de abra Haji aton wachi. Ameria sasana mukano ton die huo. Ma mene started die huo ton wachi ton with 200 Ghana cedis. Out of 200 cedis, what the aye juma kakran. Ahwen kwara anan. Ni kunu kura head anya juma papi. Wahwen kwara anan di oye nurse ni, di oye teacher ni, di oye police ni, di oye DN, di oye osua ade pam abeye master. Wahwe wo mo. Haji started adwuma with 200 cedis no. Osa de san kakran to asase. Wachi wura no. Ya muhu omo ena obi ton dokran ena obi ton de ena mumu omo no. Wachi wura no. O de san no asase fie. Die huo wura no. Maamefo cho ba fo no mtonto fufuo ni ade no. Maza omo awurade adom omo ya bi o. Omo nya mobo na omo adwuma no and require sa shepe address no ntu sa Ghana de ye hwe atade a ena kire so obi ana oni bi Ghana ye no de hwe nipa na outfit ye hwe de we a wa dress na na de address no de hwe ne dress na na address no se no tie wachi wura no maame na oti dwom ho antos makoni ade ne me se ebi de asisi fie. Meka go si say omo mpo no wa start adwuma with 200 150 obi de maso won mo sama me na timi adigwa wa moka JHS gra wanwie form 4 wanwie maame bi atonto makodwane ahwene ma school. The capital was 50 cedis. Ofri niema no okoba 500 cedis. Na sika na efro. Unhu bi da on. Ubetimi amma. Ebia unua ba bi oye brefo. O maame bi oye brefo, maame kunani bi oye brefo. Betimi abono dwetri bi 1000 cedis, 500 or 2000. Ebenya dimfie be enum no. Nkonta obetimi ya kyerɛw no ebe ye wanwaso yi ni papa wa nko school da ye de Ghana nyina de koko ni timba ne niema wo mu nyina de amam hweka am de ato ye ho ezi atu osisi Ghana ni ba bia de kawo we mu ya amam mfa sa amana mu ha sheda mo ne hwan mo ne se ene o mo anko school na o mo certificate mo mfa sa ansem ne nto enye school fo yi no mo de $43 million akote gata mu still Canada so yiri no enye school for na enom de $43 million akote gata mu gata o ewurade na no kwakuma no se wono kro beginya bugana buniye ogaza otwa ntro obi a watimi ya start bibi odini nyansa anyame de adom no a start bibi pa akuta adwuma bi akukuru ase ene ade nyina wo moka onkwaje bosia ye de Ghana shemonsa sin Ghana ashemonsa jiji to nyina beka mo ho kwaje bosia beka ho di gold beka ho monya oil ne ade nyina epaya bo krom ha ye urade ngomanimfo ye di yawu Ghana deka ma menhwe Ghana's public debt stock hits 658.6 billion Ghana cedis as of February 2024. Recent data released by the Bank of Ghana show that the country's public debt stock increased by 46.4 billion in the first 2 months of 2024, reaching 658.6 billion. And that is $53.1 billion. In terms of gross domestic product, Ghana's total public debt stock now stands at 62.7% for the period. The BOG summary of economic and financial data for May 2024 indicates that the country's debt was 611.2 billion at the end of 2023, which rose to 626.0 billion Ghana cedis in January 2024 and further increased to its 658.6 billion in February 2024. This increase in public debt was attributed to the persistent depreciation of the cedi at the time when government borrowing on the domestic treasury bills market increased. On the domestic debt front, the data showed an increase of 18.6 billion Ghana cedis in the first 2 months of 2024, representing approximately 36.1% of GDP. As of February 2024, the domestic debt stood at 278.7 billion Ghana cedis, representing 36.1% of GDP. Regarding external debt, it rose by 28.9 billion cedis due to the cedi's depreciation against major trading currencies during the period. Additionally, the external component of the total public debt stock was $30.6 billion. That is equivalent to 350.3 billion Ghana cedis in February 2024, equivalent to 36.1% of the GDP. The Central Bank Summary of Economic and Financial Data for May 2024, however, showed that the government fiscal operations were on track with a deficit to GDP ratio of 2.6% in the first quarter of 2024 compared to 1.8% of the GDP during the same period in 2023. Meanwhile, the primary balance showed a deficit of 1.4% of GDP in March 2024. I mean, guys, I'm Joe. Chess and Crawford, there be an umboka, a question. I'm woman in phone. I be a umboka from 2023, basically, February, March, April, May. There be a care cost. We are ton Ghana near Boca. A cratch for the ton Ghana near Boca. Woman in for the ton Ghana near Boca. Ubia ton Ghana near Boca. Near Boca. You are near catcher of say, woman in way. No maca. Quasia seven, Nemperifu will be brady. Ade. Na snake ade amayin. Just a mofa Ghana Message 2014. You call World Cup of Brazil. I didn't see Yamanya in the moon Ghana Mashada. Yes, I'm so many Woman Gumutim. There's a Grammy. We don't brag about qualification and Mikutawi because I Ukutakren, I am Guase. I am young boy, so for young boy be also for I say, as only any moniam, Sabino. So Ukuta, Candy, Bruni, on Faho, your name Crofobit Chroma, young former Yashi, or Cobroni Chroma, Brofona and Tate, a troconim trot, just a bit busy bundy, as a braless. May I grandma send me a Bruni to me, a Jim in my edgema. I'm a ne. Or Shem Crawford, Abebo Brow fee. So Chroma not here. Alright, I'm going to videos, no. Me I no pay my ham and no bepa. Madam say, Dr. Nimo, can I any more no drew. Immediate travel agency. Get over a visa before payment. Thank you.
Or Cheddar, which is money. When you spoke to Bernard, my colleague, you spoke about making your first £1 million from scraps. That's something that people dragged you on social media for a long time. I mean, scrap, was it gold scraps?
I wouldn't really want to answer these questions because you know what? I think all the people who are interviewing me are just going around the same thing. I want us to make more sense in our interview. When someone is standing for president, there is economy. There are things that we can talk about.
Yeah, you spoke about economy with Bernard.
I'm coming. Mm-hmm. Everybody seems to want to talk about my life and try to get a headline.
And first of all, you didn't want to be president. Nobody avoided you.
First of all, get your facts right. Mm-hmm. It says that at the age of 21, not 19.
Fine, 2 year difference.
And wait, 2 years difference. Mm-hmm. It's not the 2 years difference. It's you as a journalist trying to be factful and you don't even have your facts. Mm-hmm. So I want you to move on to maybe some better question. Ghanaians can choose to say whatever they want to say.
Let me ask you a better question. How much do you pay in taxes annually? Is that a better question?
Well, you know what? If this meeting or this interview is about interrogation, about figures and all of that, please, then what is the point of you calling me? Because we definitely had a discussion. You asked me that what are the things that we need to talk about?
And I'm asking you on behalf of the people who you want to vote for you. If you said to me that you made £1 million out of scraps in the United Kingdom at age 19, that will raise eyebrows, and I ought to ask you how you made it. Or Cheddar, which is money. When you spoke to Bernard, my colleague, you spoke about making your first £1 million from scraps. That's something that people dragged you on social media for a long time. I mean, scrap, was it gold scraps?
I wouldn't really want to answer these questions because you know what? I think all the people who are interviewing me are just going around the same thing. I want us to make more sense in our interview. When someone is standing for president, there is economy. There are things that we can talk about.
Yeah, you spoke about economy with Bernard.
I'm coming. Mm-hmm. Everybody seems to want to talk about my life and try to get a headline. Look, I think they've tried. A lot of people have tried to make their headlines, the media twisting and all of that. But one thing that Ghanaians and even the media platforms and young people who are sitting in front of me is that if we're talking about degrees here and it's about achievements and what people should do in life, I have acquired a lot of that. Great. And if you're talking about knowledge and wisdom, I am blessed with a lot of that and grace. So there's so many times, like I can really put people where they deserve to be. When they're trying to, go around and everything. Yes, I gave you a shot with Tiger. I gave you a shot this, that. But you're going back and forth. Let's go straight into the discussion. Okay. I am here to have an interview with you. Yeah. My interview with you is for us to talk about the future of this country, not the past of Nana Kwame Bediako. It does not educate people who are listening to us. And I think that, let me use this opportunity, Umaru, to tell you something. Maybe they can learn from this moment that you and I are together having this interview, that Ghanaians are not having positive interviews, that they can tap into like the best part of our people. When you meet people, let the people see. Ghana is going through a lot at the moment. We have close to 80% jobless people. Yeah. Okay, 15% that are working are more or less slaves for multinational platforms. We need to build our own platforms, our own industrial platforms, create our own entrepreneurs. We're here sitting down, busy talking about politics when politicians themselves have become the private sector, and then using the private sector people to become contractors, so they just give them contract. You ask me a question and name one person in Ghana that can become a multi-millionaire or a billionaire without the government.
Okay, Nana, the reason that I have to ask you the question I ask you, and why journalists ask you, is that you can't build nothing, or you can't build something on nothing. We need to know what your foundation is, what your background is.
It is there. Look, it is there,
you landed. No, you landed. So can I also make my point? If we do not know what you are made of, there's no point voting for you. We need to know that this is your track record. This is what you have done. You have said A, B, C, D. We have to hold you to your words. If you said that you are dredging the sea and sending it to Kumasi, as a journalist, I'm duty bound to ask you, and I'm asking you on behalf of the people who you want to vote for you. If you said to me that you made £1 million out of scraps in the United Kingdom at age 19, that will raise eyebrows, and I ought to ask you how you made it.
It doesn't raise eyebrows.
No, the reason I'll ask you...
It doesn't raise eyebrows when the musician makes 2 million.
Let me land with... The musician goes on stage and sings, and we see what he does. You were not a musician. You said you were doing scraps. It's true. We want to know so that someone who wants to learn from you would be inspired to know the path, show us the way. Second, we need to question your source of wealth. It's very important that we know that before you become our president, if you ever became our president.
Well, let me just answer your question for you right now. Umaru, first of all, if anybody wants to find out how I acquired my wealth before even 21, it's on the internet. There's so much research they can do.
That's the internet. You are here with me. Speak to me.
Please. If somebody wants to find out my income today, it is all there. I have built hotels. I've done all of that. It's all there. It's bringing me income. It's yielding. I'm creating employment. But the thing that I'm saying is that journalists should stop wasting my time asking me the same questions over and over again. None of you even have the guts and the ask any sitting president or ex-president these questions like, where did you get the money from to do your campaign? And you are a president, so you're not supposed to have wealth. None of you. But when you have your age group or someone younger than you, and then you guys are trying to make a mimic or take a joke out of this, how many times have I answered this question? How many times? How many times have you even heard, like as if you didn't know that I've said it already? How many times, Umaru? So that's my point. My point is, you guys as journalists need to sit down and say, look, I'm going to meet Cheddar. This guy, Well, if he's not intelligent, maybe he's smart. If he's not smart, maybe he's an achiever or doer. He's not just a talker. I ask myself.
The reason is that you haven't answered.
Because I have.
Convincingly.
Well, I have. I don't
and
know.
So it is important that we ask you until we get the answer. And we're asking you on behalf of the people you want to vote for you.
I don't know how again you guys want me to show you how exactly money is made. That is the laziness of some of the people in this country. They're asking me for a template. That how exactly, how do you think I build a building? How do you think? Wait, how do you think? That is investment and development. But you're still asking me the source of funds. How would I use 4 years to do a development? Bring architects, engineers, pay them systematically, monthly, yearly, to see everything coming up in steps. When I finish, you still ask me, how did you make your money? No. How are you making money out of
No,
this?
we're not asking you.
What is the sense in this?
We're not asking you about how you put up a building, which goes. We know the systems to put up a building. But when we ask you at age 19, as a university dropout, how you made £1 million, that is a question that we should ask you. And that's a question you should answer, because you are not the only 19-year-old in this country. So how come you are the only one? And that is why it's a story, and that's why we are asking you. Again, you are the only one who at age 19 got £1 million and wanted to be president.
First of all,
if you didn't want to be president, nobody would have bothered you.
First of all, get your facts right. It says that at the age of 21, not 19.
Fine, 2 year difference.
And wait, 2 years difference. It's not the 2 years difference. It's you as a journalist trying to be factful and you don't even have your facts. So I want you to move on to maybe some better question. Ghanaians can choose to say whatever they want to say.
Let me ask you a better question. How much do you pay in taxes annually? Is that a better question?
Well, you know what? If this meeting or this interview is about interrogation, about figures and all of that, please, then what is the point of you calling me? Because we definitely had a discussion. You asked me that what are the things that we need to talk about.
What did you say, Ghana be twamo?
Government no be money pano a coin say omu vote dia nipa ne beto. I just say almost stop here omu. Ti say o hwe omu se sia na se bi se sia ye abatu yi. Ye stop e man no.
Abatu be na stop man.
Me pa just say registration abatu registration no. Ye stop it nipa bebre say omu e be register.
Ye stop your way.
Because we hwe abrochire na se ye ka say ye registration ye will pin for 1 year. Na obi e timi ato aba ne bi.
Na so we a limited registration.
Limited registration.
Omu yombe say biemu biemu.
Debbie, ha, mema o list no. Almost say from the 30th is the only one day wa yira o card. Wa yira o bibia no. Oba be register.
From 31st to 14th June.
Debbie o. Me reading wa ha.
Limited voter registration no.
20 days. 20 days no. It's first of all a big problem. Now I will tell you why it's a big problem. Oshe last year krana last voting on year na omu BA for 30th June to 6th August. Over 6 weeks. This time, omu year no for only 20 days.
Cheddar, we a limited voter registration. Obia with the 18. Yasiku Truding. That is what it is.
No. Yasiku register. And you're Truding kwame.
And so, which register?
Debbie. Truding is different from registration.
Registration. Which registration?
Kwame. Registration is a process. You didn't pen out. Utra picture na uye bibia ansani amount card. Enti me ankasa makona mashim. What your population okroma?
A little over 30 million.
It's 33 million. Let me just give you that fact. Okay. Now enkra mabuno mu okroma. Uni mo size.
Saying.
Okay, 0 to 45 is 74.9%. When you know a fact, wait me and now 2020 no. Omo year registration na mabunu turning 18. From that time no, omo entimi an register bebre en register honum because omo year no na from June to 6th August. Enti bebre entimi 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And mabunu ni bebre abenyini ebikura edi 22, 23. Omo so ewo say power as say omo register. Na wo hwa 2024 yi mabunu a omu di ebia 18 ewo May omu betima aye 400,000 mabunu a omu di 18 ewo June omu betima aye 300,000 mabunu a omu di 18 ewo July omu betima aye 200,000 mabunu a omu di saa wo ko saa ko si November omu nyina wo di boma eye millions. Problem na me wo me ntiase ne se aden na ye deprive omo from the opportunity say omo be register at an early age.
Inti purchase will be D18 after registration to me register.
But that is what he's saying.
No. Nana, omo be a friend continuous registration. Unim sir.
Ani omo count. Tie.
Empacho ya kanda dada.
Inti say nka easy for person omo ka say, "Oh, mabunu munti 18 am betima be register." Omo tro wa high. Omo fanka timetable no ho. And so ye come on radio so na obia explain it to me on radio so say, "Oh, me mo no nya make no enye correct na we no na ye correct." Na me ntias ye say timetable no so wa ha any say timetable no etwa ntro kire ye. Eno na me hwe so de akasa. Ta me tro ma Jane Mensa. Me nshia ne da, but ma tro no letter. You letter no e wa ha e bia nya ade a me read ni nyina, but nipa e wo internet so mo so me try say nipa betime nya access. But me pese me bubo nipa mian kasa me copy omo me bubo institutions no sisia e wo enhoma yi so ye copy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Alban Bagwin, Judicial Speaker of Parliament, the Chief Justice, Supreme Court of Justice, the Secretary Judicial Council of Ghana, Chairman of the Council of State, Christian Council of Ghana, National House of Chiefs, National Chief Imam, National Commission for Civic Education.
Mpacho unim about continuous registration.
What catch them that Kwame?
Continuous. It catches ni awu ken now.
Debi, what catch them that? Say continuous registration no. Ewo ho na say mbabunu bia betimi I register every month. Omon kan.
Ewo ho dada omaka.
Omon kan Kwame. No.
Inti mimi e dem hu ye.
Neti, o e bia wo kan say, but me so me person me catch you say Kwame. It is for their own maybe personal reasons why it's being structured this way.
Inti mimi meti wa hi.
Huh?
Inti mimi ti wa hi.
Baby, mo private meeting bia, me need the minimum. Ebia mo private.
Ayan, omaka ne baby o.
Kwame say mu nyina mo wo peace FM I say mu nimpa say next month and mabuno mo Ghana nyina betimi akọ register June, July, August.
Mati na montie. Pacho yase. Omo mati. Pacho ye ni nana Kwame bedi akọ e friend Cheddar New Force e wa ha no pay. Opache say mo limited voter registration no. Entiase ni mo papa. Ni edi kan make I say continuous registration but also anya dia mabon dewuro. Say yes limited voter registration ni wie a. Obi obedi 18 no. After that obey den.
Yeah, roll out the continuous registration.
Also, rolling out continuous registration.
Yes, exactly.
And for the continuous registration, no, he is right. Say, moon rolling out.
Yes.
For me, no.
Make a choice, say,
because the God.
Okay, ya paucho. Ya paucho. Yentuasu.
There's a short journey about the same crown as a
Some said there's continuous registration.
But there wasn't.
Or see if you know my business.
No, but there wasn't.
There wasn't. You are right. I'm wrong. Let's move on.
And Peace too said that there was no. So
you are right. We are wrong. Yentuasu. Huh? We have an interview. No, we another interview.
Sorry. Then.
Very good. Until you are right, we are wrong. Yentuasu.
Say, mutimi educate and mining in Accra. Who say who vote only 2021 register bidia. Untimi to abani. What I say, as I say, when you know, you timi catch a man on your kind of crana. Obi say, Kwame, a veteran like Kwame, many radio station here. Or no, the free said there's continuous registration. Make catch and say there's nothing like that. But I'll say, you true. I'm a work confirm. I'm a piece from workers' crown, so I confirm. Say, or mate. Until he no mukoti same way. And I have frown. I also catch the BBB any hosa. What I say, into education about this is very bad. And I think that democracy is what governs our country, not dictatorship. I want to use this very moment to address this issue in Ghana, and I speak not with authority but with decency and politeness. Say, about democracy cry and then there shouldn't be politicians that are dictating for the government. The government should stand for the citizens. Let us have the right to be able to vote. Me the bread, Jin Mensa, and I'm a copy.
I'll say the Abremo Electoral Commission.
Electoral Commission, and I'm a copy.
Also the Badabang.
Last week, 17th May, and now 27th, Anna.
Until 10 days, 2 weeks ago.
I check Obian responded, and I make registration, so Obian responded. Besides that, no, Speaker of Parliament, a D when you know Mabubuninano, I said at least, as so be responded, and I may free say, and who about mining. Obi entimin kasa na ade na obi ankasa
na ade ne ho aba na ho aba men man ka
obi a matro mo mfi me
what you letter near respond say ho aba
citizen na ade na ntimi.
Yes, Dr. Kwegu.
But I'm telling you, it's different between the general electrician.
Into the one where you marry, quite you must. Why?
Doctor.
Your doctor, see, Bokwe Kumidase.